How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video for you guys, and thanks to a certain somebody, or at least somebody that I know, not part of the Novakast crew, but a really good friend, they were able to get me a chance to see the movie Spider-Man No Way Home a little bit early, and I figured I might as well do a quick review of it. Now, usually I would go step by step on the story with some of my reviews, but for this one, I'm not going to do that. If anything, I'm going to try to make this as spoiler-free as I possibly can. Though, if I will spoil one thing, but being very vague about when it happens, when it came down to, you know, them being very hush-hush about it, yes, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire reprise their roles as Spider-Man. Now, again, I'm not going to tell you when they come back, show up, but in the end, they do show up. You know, in between the movie. So, to an extent, making this as quick as possible, so that way, I can't stress this enough right now. When you guys get the chance, go watch the movie. It's actually really good, at least to me anyway. I personally thought the story itself was really good, and I know certain critics are probably going to bash it for nostalgia, which honestly I felt it had a healthy dose of nostalgia, especially when it came down to characters involved. The story itself, as I guess if anything, if we could talk about story just briefly, when it comes down to, you know, what we saw in the trailers, you know, Spider-Man having to deal with multiverse versions of villains is pretty basic. And not only that, but him kind of growing as a character, and all in all, and more so than he has with the past situations, especially with, at this point, I guess the major situation of him having to deal with consequences of his own actions, which comes into play throughout. All in all, it's done very well, and by the end, he does have to make really hard choices or at least certain decisions in order to do the right thing. Music, like going into music, all in all, is done really well, and as I mentioned already, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, you know, they reprise their roles. And there is flourishes of, you know, music or themes from the different scores from, you know, those movies. More particularly with some of the themes that we've heard for, let's say, the villains, which honestly are great callbacks to, you know, the older films. Sci-fi, or not sci-fi, but effects, CGI is done really well. I especially like, you know, closer, or like, if anything, like, comes down to combat and stuff. Everything, actually, I'm gonna just say it. Our Spider-Man, or at least the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, especially when with the CGI, looks a lot better than what we saw for, you know, the older films. It's great to see them in, you know, current day. So, all in all, I applaud the movie for that. And above all, it's just, honestly, again, not going into too much, it is such a great movie. I personally, and it might be my own bias, but honestly, I didn't see much wrong with it. Honestly, it's probably one of the best films I've seen as of late. Especially, and again, because probably Spider-Man is one of my favorites. So, all in all, for final thoughts, I enjoy the story. I enjoy the characters. When it comes down to music, it's, you know, it's good. And it has its moments of nostalgia, just like, you know, the story and the characters. CGI, and especially when it comes down to, you know, characters that we've seen in the past, it really helps the look to some extent. So, bottom line, I enjoyed this, and I recommend it. With that, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I absolutely freaking enjoyed this movie. And I ask you guys all to go check it out and kind of give your own opinions of what you think is, you know, for for Spider-Man. But above all, Spider-Man No Way Home gets, in my personal opinion, a 10 out of 10. Perfect score, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And with that, that was my review, or my quick review of Spider-Man No Way Home. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.